Leon, I've been able to get some new info that might help you.
Fill me in.
Apparently, there's a religious cult group involved. They're called the Los Illuminados.
Los Illuminados. That's a mouthful. Anyway, I had an unexpected run-in with the big cheese of this village.
But you're okay, right?
Yeah, but he could have killed me, but he let me live. And he mentioned something about me carrying the same blood as them. Whatever that means.
Carry the same blood. Huh. Interesting.
Anyway, there are more important things than solving riddles right now.
You're right. Hurry and find that church, Leon.
So if you go back into the previous bedroom, you get a kind of secretish cutscene. Now you're about to fight a chainsaw enemy, but first, there is an optional enemy here in the bathroom. He was really unhappy that I disturbed his time on the John, so just knife him. Sometimes he drops money, sometimes he just drops nothing. Go to the back room. There's going to be an incendiary grenade in the cabinet. This is always here. You should need to grab this for the upcoming fight with the big cheese in chapter 2-3. Check the oven for an egg. So as that guy is revving, it's best to kind of get a couple shots on him. Once he staggers, that's a good time to go back in the house. Now because this isn't a steel door, it's a wood door, he's gonna be able to knock it down. Make sure you just have a full clip of shotgun ammo ready to go. There are these guys here, especially that guy with the sickle can just cause some massive frustration by just stunning you and having the chainsaw guy finish you off. So I used a technique there that's kind of useful. It's because of the spread of the shotgun, it's kind of best to maybe wait on your shots until you can block using the spread. Use that on the sickle. There's going to be 2 enemies here, and there's going to be a whole bunch of them near the bottom. Shoot the 2 birds' nests. One of them always drops TMP ammo. So I was expecting the guy to walk straight over, but they kind of got collided in the hitboxes, and I just had an unfortunate run-in here with the sickle guy. I'm starting to notice on my playthrough that there generally just seems to be a lot more sickle throwers in Professional than I recall. But the goal is to, again, just make sure that you create enough distance from them and be able to just pin him down when you need to. So as you can see there, I actually did get the reload. That's one little trick that can happen is if you're in the middle of reloading and you get grabbed by an enemy, it automatically goes through, which is super helpful. Of course, it's a technique you shouldn't need to be using, but because in this Resident Evil you're not able to reload from the menu, it's always nice when it happens. So there's a whole host of enemies here, and it's kind of best to just take them along this path. You'll notice that they do tend to try and spread out from the sides. This can become a bit difficult. The best way to do it is to go a bit further from where I was right there. You want to prevent them from getting to this open area, because then they'll just surround you and just cause a whole host of trouble. Where the next easiest spot to get them is from the house on the left. But exercise patience, keep switching between your weapons for crowd control with the shotgun and just the handgun going forward. It was at this time when I was really excited that we're going to get the Punisher in this chapter, just because it would have really helped out during this sequence, just lining everyone up. Use the melees to your advantage when you can. I don't know what that guy was doing. He just kind of got sent flying. So you can hear the ominous music still playing. There's two guys on the roof. These guys are completely optional, but I just kind of get them anyway just to be completionist about it. It's very lucky he had a Stormship Trooper accuracy there. But again, running to the opposite dominant side, I wasn't able to actually see him, but I just kind of guessed to hug near the wall would have been the best option. Next thing we're going to do is on our way to the church. Shoot the lamp in here, it drops some treasure. Reveal the hidden treasures and shoot all of them down. There's going to be a merchant up ahead.
Got something that might interest you. Got a selection of... What are you buying? What are you buying?
I find there's not real much of interest there. You can purchase the bolt action rifle in 1-2, but it really isn't needed until you get to the castle in chapter 3-1, I believe. There's two bird nests here. One is kind of right near the entrance. These are a little bit hard to see. If you shoot them down, you'll get a grenade and some rifle ammo. I believe these are always constant drops. Going to be some crows in the graveyard. Shoot them from nearest to farthest. So there's a Z there. tip is that if you ever get close to an enemy and you have the knife out, it's much easier to slash at their face to get them to stun than their knee. Their knee responds much better to handgun ammunition than the actual, than the knife. What you want to do is memorize the symbols of the twins here. There's a Z, a Z, an M, and a V. Those three symbols provide the solution for a puzzle to get one of the cat's eyes for the beer stein. There's going to be a dynamite thrower up ahead. This guy can cause some problems. I think I'm trying to just be a bit too fancy and have the dynamite just take him out, and I end up just hitting it at point blank. So that was pretty terrible. Do not follow my example. Get that guy from a distance, let the dynamite blow him up. We're going to trigger a kind of alternate cutscene here with Hunnigan.
Leon, have you reached the church yet?
Well, yeah. Sort of.
Leon, did I mention not to take the scenic route? At any rate, Ashley's probably inside that structure. Rescue her, hurry!
Hunnigan, it's Leon. The door's locked. I can't get in.
Didn't they teach you how to pick locks at the academy?
Yeah. There's some sort of indentation, like something might fit inside.
Well, there's no use standing around. Leon, you have to find some way or something to get inside.
So a neat little trick here is you can actually shoot the bell, and this does nothing helpful for you. It just summons more enemies to come and get you, but it's a kind of a fun little trick that you can do. Going just far enough so that that guy pulls out the dynamite's a good way to get rid of both of them. So use sound cues to your advantage. You can kind of hear that there's some enemies coming. There's going to be 3 guys coming this way. Usually you fight these guys on the bridge. I got quite fortunate here. Those guys could have easily wrecked me pretty good, but luckily enough they were pretty tranquil and even allowed me to have kind of a generous reload right in front of them. So by activating the 3 twin symbols, you'll be able to get the cat's eye. I think there's a more optimal way to do the dial there, but that's just a quick solution that I found. What you want to do is, again, you're going to light up one of the symbols that you're eventually going to come around, and it's going to serve as your base point to hit the last one. This part's not too bad because you can use your melee to really just knock people into the lake. So this is going to be your first encounter with snakes in chess. You'll see me starting to double swipe, and this is to... The snake just do damage, but they're just more annoying than anything else. We're gonna hit our last blue medallion here, and luckily there's a merchant up ahead where we can finally get the Punisher, which is gonna be our handgun for the rest of the game. So you want to equip a flashbang here, and the reason is there's a bunch of drunken... So you want to equip a flashbang here, and the reason is like a drunken pirate to a bunch of baby seals, there's a bunch of crows here, and if you throw the flash grenade, you just send them all straight to Kingdom Come. The one in the middle will always drop a flash grenade, so it's just kind of a fun little trick. As you can probably tell from this area, is there potentially could be like a big enemy here. This is where you're going to fight the El Gigante boss. He happens after Del Lago in chapter 2-1. But for now, just get whatever you need to inside the houses. You're going to come up on a fork here. If you take the right, you're going to be able to go to the merchant, and that's what we're going to be doing because we're going to be getting the Punisher. You can shoot down that lantern up there, but there's no treasure.
Got some rare things on. What are you buying? Thank you. What are you selling? Is that a... Thank you. What are you selling? Is that all, strange? Thank you. What are you buying? What are you buying? What are you buying? Is that all?
So a quick word about the TMP. I avoided this weapon for many years until I ended up using it, and this thing is just a wrecker. It deals so much damage because it fires at 1/10 of a second, and it's able to get over 1.0 on your firepower, which is your default base handgun. And it proves crucial to be able to get this to fight the El Gigante. You're going to fight 3 El Gigantes in total, and they just become super useful. I think I was debating to get a shotgun upgrade here, but I ended up holding off for now. The TMP will become extremely useful once you fight El Gigante. You're just able to kind of mow him down if you saved enough ammo. An interesting note is that the capacity upgrades will refill your ammo. You can't buy ammo in this game, but by using the capacity you can refill it. This is extremely important for the Magnum. If you ever need additional Magnum rounds, you can just upgrade the capacity. I also bought the stock for the TMP. If you don't have it, then you fire the TMP from the hip, and it tends to just be a little bit harder to aim. You kind of have to aim upward, and it's very easy to miss. Thankfully, this is the last boulder. What you want to do is turn around and get the spinel up above. So this place is booby-trapped with a bunch of dynamite. There will be guys coming in from the direction of the boulder, and that first one is kind of easy to serve as a warning shot, because one of the guys just runs straight through it like a maniac and just gets blown to smithereens. But unfortunately we won't have that trigger, so in order to prevent this, I'm going to be always kind of checking over my back and using my sound cues. So one thing you'll notice is we're starting to get TMP now that we have it in our inventory. This is a mechanic where you're only able to get ammo of weapons you have in your inventory. This happens for every single weapon in the game. You can get mine-throwing darts, you can get magnum ammo that drops occasionally, and even hand cannon ammo. At this point, it's been a little bit too close for comfort, so I decided to drop down, luckily avoiding that guy. There's actually a hidden treasure over here on the right-hand side. If you go to this little island with the tree, it's easy to remember that it's the far one on the right-hand side. There is a bird's nest, and if you shoot it, you get the antique pipe. You can knife snakes in the water for eggs, but we are a bit pressed with a bunch of guys just coming in on us, so I decided to neglect it. Again, I have a pretty bad route for this. Do not follow my lead and go into this house. I forgot that there was a guy there. But yeah, I think the best way is actually to deal with them from up on the gate, is if you go straight to the end of the area and just try and get them. So, got really lucky there. It went straight through the wall. There's just so many guys with sickles on Pro, it just becomes kind of hard to deal with them. So I killed most of the enemies in my line of sight, but I still hear the ominous music, so... But I just tend to skip it and just go straight ahead. No need to fight some enemies if you don't have to.
Vámonos. Ok, ándale.
Go back the way you came and get the bird's nest. and now we're about to fight the Del Lago. First, I'm going to show you a little Easter egg cutscene. So this section is kind of an equivalent of an on-rails. It can be easy or hard depending on how the pattern goes. You want to avoid the debris in the middle of the lake. It'll just knock you off. Other than that, Del Lago's pretty easy to dodge. If you usually pick with the direction and go for it. However, I definitely like instinctively go to the wrong side. Get hit a couple times. Usually he goes straight for this debris path as soon as it starts. I have a pretty rough cycle on this boss. I'm just missing a whole bunch of things. But you should have an easier time. The key is to not get greedy. If you focus too much on hitting him, the debris will just crush you. Try to aim down near his tail. Every so often he's going to submerge and he'll come at you from a different angle. Luckily there is a little helper on screen to let you know where he should be. So luckily we have a bit of a straight stretch here, but I'm just having a lot of trouble hitting him. He's really going straight for the debris, and I'm trying to anticipate his movement and kind of throw the harpoons. But the harpoon's projectiles can be a bit wonky. I should have went straight to the left. I knew as soon as I hit the controller there that I made a mistake. You can kind of tell based on the camera angle where he's going to submerge. So you do have access to your inventory screen, and your health does determine how fast you swim and how far you get knocked out of the boat. Again, using the camera angle and instinctively kind of going away from where it's being centered will help you avoid him. But yeah, that was just some really bad aiming on my part. So if you're good on your aiming there, you actually can hit him up to 3 times before he comes back. That was a really close call. Sometimes when you get close to the wall, it really becomes hard to predict exactly where he's going to come up. But yeah, there's just a lot of debris. I believe his pattern is a bit harder on Pro than it is on regular. So I had to take my time, get these last 2 shots. And after that QuickTime event, you've completed Chapter 1-3 and your first boss. Congratulations.
Leon, it's been 6 hours since our last transmission. I was starting to get worried.
Don't you mean lonely? Anyway, I started to feel dizzy, and then I guess I must have lost consciousness.
Lost consciousness? Maybe that has some connection to what the village chief was talking about.
Can't say. But I'm all right now. I'm gonna continue my mission.